Welcome back everyone to the channel. How are you doing? How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing good. I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. This is another TBR and it is for April. I'm dressed like a homeless man because it's still freezing in Michigan. And it's April. Make it make sense. I have a nice small little pile of my books for the month I will be reading. Hopefully. Last month I actually DNF'd a book, but I'm going to try and reread it again. I just wasn't really feeling it. But anyways, I have 5 books, 1 self-published, no manga. I want to take a break. I just binged all of the last arc of Berserk, and I just want to take a break from reading manga. I just felt like I've been reading a lot of it over the last 3 months. So I'm like, so April and May, I'm going to take a break, and then June, I'm going to read the next arc of One Piece. So we'll see how I like that, but we'll see. I'm really 50-50 with One Piece. I'm not like the rest of the BookTok communities, like, oh, One Piece! We're gonna get into this. So the first one is a classic. I've been wanting to try to read a little bit of classics once in a while, and that is War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. I seen the movie of this with Tom Cruise years ago. I don't actually remember anything that happens in this. So I kind of want to check this out and just see what it's all about. It's a really short book too. And H.G. Wells, man, he writes really good science fiction books. Most of his books are science fiction too, I believe. So that's actually pretty exciting. It's just a really small, it's not even 200 pages, so I want to try reading something a little different. Just because I'm so tired of reading big books. And I have a couple of them here. So I want to read a shorter book that'll take maybe like 2 days to read, get it out of my system, and then just carry on with the rest of my life. You know, it's nice. So the next book is actually one of an author that I'm actually really starting to like. I read one of his books in January, and I really like that one. It might not be my favorite of the books I've read from him so far, but this one is actually like his most popular book of his collection, so I'm pretty excited to read this one. And that is Mr. Murder by Dean Koontz. I don't know anything about Dean Koontz books, and I always like that. I just go in there with no idea what's going on, and I like that flow. I like to stick with that idea. And Mr. Murder seems like something I'm gonna like. I don't know what it's about, but it looks like a book I'm gonna really enjoy, and I can't wait. I don't know too much about any of his books, but I like the way he writes books, so I just want to stick with it. And I also feel like Dean Koontz just doesn't get a lot of recognition on BookTube in general, because everyone always talks about how great Stephen King is. Don't get me wrong, I like Stephen King, but it's like sometimes I think Dean Koontz does a better job than what Stephen King can do. Liar! Just saying. He feels more consistent, I should say, than Stephen King. Stephen King's early works are really good, but Dean Koontz books, none of them have been a miss for me so far, and that's why I really am enjoying. So the next book is my self-published book. I actually got this book last year from the author. He signed it, which was really cool. It's a horror novel, which is actually more fun because I've been wanting to read more horror, and I can't wait. And actually with the Dean Koontz book, it might be a thriller, supernatural book. Most of his books are kind of supernatural, so that's always really cool. But anyways, The Undertaker's Daughter is what I'll be reading. Sick cover, dude. Very cool cover. I don't know much about it. I know I got it a couple years ago, and I just never did anything with it. But I even got signed. This is Dear Zach. Thank you for the read and review. So yeah, I got this last year, and I just never had time to read it, and I feel really bad. So I got this, and honestly, I'm pretty excited. I think I'm going to start a P.O. box. So if you guys ever do want to send me anything, that'd be cool. I mean, I would love it if some indie authors did send me their stuff, because then I'll read it and review them. I will always read at least one self-published book a month. That's my goal on this channel. But I don't know anything about this book. I'm assuming it's a horror novel. It does right here say a novel of supernatural horror. So I clearly can't read. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. So I had this book when it first came out. I was 11 when this book came out. My mom bought it for me right at stores, never read it. Still own it, never read it. And I was like, this is the year I'm going to read it. It was actually in a video of mine before in January that I was like, my reading goals of the year. One was to read all of Wheel of Time, be caught up with Stormlight, and finish the Aragon series. I'm going to tell you what, I've never read Aragon, and everyone talks about either how good it is, or it's like, oh, it's too cliche, it's so childish and stuff like that. But the author wrote this at like 16, so I kind of figured that much. But honestly, I'm pretty excited to read this book. I do know like the basis of this book, and I'm actually pretty excited to read it. I know a lot of people read like book 2 and then they just stop reading it. I'm not going to do that. My goal is to read this in April, then book 2 in June, book 3 in August, and book 4 in November. So hopefully book 4 I'll finish that and In Memory of Light in November, which would be just an awesome way to end November. For November, I'm actually pretty excited. November's gonna be a pretty fun month for a lot of reads, and I'm really excited to read Aragon. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm like, you know what? I have the 4 books for so long, and I'm like, I need to read them. And if I like them enough, maybe December I'll read the 5th book. I think it was the 5th book that came out, something like that. I think it was like a sequel to the series. I don't really remember. Just let me know down below if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like Megadeth or something. Not Megadeth, that's a band. Anyways, though, so yeah, I'm gonna read Aragon, and I can't wait. So of course, the last book. But thankfully, after this month, I'm taking a month off from these books because I just had to get through these now because I was like, oh my gosh. And that is Crossroads of Twilight. Arguably, I think everyone says this is the worst book of The Wheel of Time. And I don't know how I feel about that because Winter's Heart was pretty bad. Nothing really happened in Winter's Heart. So Crossroads of Twilight, can't wait. Yeah, I'm going to be reading Crossroads of Twilight, the last book of the slog. And I'm taking a break from reading The Wheel of Time. Just a month. Going to be reading Oathbringer in May. And then I'll get right back into The Wheel of Time. Because I'm trying to pace myself because I don't want to be too overwhelmed. And I figured if I read the Wheel of Time books 4 in a row, Stormlight 4 in a row, Stormlight like that, that's kind of the goal. I have it all matched up. So in December, I will be able to read the 5th book of the Stormlight Archive. So I can't wait for that. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to reading it. It will be the first book I will read for this month because I try to read the Wheel of Time books first because usually they're the biggest books, and after that I can read all my fun books. And I'm hoping, I was told some of the people commented on my last video, which I do appreciate, all you people that are commenting, just, you know, talking to me about Wheel of Time. It's honestly great. It's making me feel better that I'm not the only one that's like, why is the series like so hyped? Like, what is the hype? I'm really happy for all you guys that are watching this and commenting and letting me know. But I also am really thankful that some of you guys are commenting, letting me know, like, hey, Knife of Dreams is when it gets back to being good. I'm assuming Knife of Dreams in the next 4 books are absolute fire because that's what everyone talks about. And I think, if I can remember, now I don't know too much, but I was told that basically the 3 books that Brandon Sanderson writes is just a giant battle. Because I know the 3 books are supposed to be into 1 book, so it's supposed to be just a giant battle. Originally, I thought about just doing a giant review for all 3 of them together, but I was like, well, we're gonna stick with the formula, just one book a month. So that is my TBR for the month of April. Now, if you guys are reading any of these books, let me know down below. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know also. I would like to know. Obviously, I already know what a lot of people's opinions are going to be on Crossroads of Twilight, but I would like to know what a lot of people think of Aragon, especially as an adult reading it. I think it's going to be a little different than reading it as a teenage kid. And that's what upsets me, is I wish I read it as a kid. So then my nostalgia might be a lot better for it, but it's just not there. And it kind of makes me a little sad to know that. But anyways, though, I'm excited to read all these. Let me know down below what books you guys are reading for the month of April, of course. And last but not least, make sure you guys stay safe, stay hungry, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!